Hey guys, March 8, 2020. Give you an update here on the Schumann, and then we'll get into the CV19 conversation a little bit. I got a couple videos I want to show you there, pieces, little clips of some good information that I really want you guys to see. And we got a new Sunspot, and we also have another CME that kind of blew off the side of the sun. So we'll talk about that. But yeah. So, what are we seeing here? Well, what we're seeing, guys, those that don't know, our frequency, the Earth should vibrate at 7.83 hertz, which is right there. Okay? Anything above or below that can cause issues. What I mean by issues, when this thing's going crazy, mental health gets really bad. Okay? It's directly related to crime rate and like admissions to mental hospitals around this time. Plus, there's a host of physical things that it does to you also. Lots of things tied to this. They pump it into the ISS and to people that work underground for those reasons. If they don't, people that stay in space or work underground for long periods of time, man, they go crazy, all kinds of stuff. They used to call that space sickness, but they figured out this is what it does. This is what causes it. So, if your ears are ever ringing, go over and check this out. Chances are this thing's spiking. Now, something I noticed is the spikes that we're seeing are very, very short-lived, but they look to be pretty intense. Okay, or at least they go high in frequency. Right? Now, typically when we see stuff on here, we see an event, it looks more like this over here. Kind of long-lasting. That is what it is right now, but our little code thing we got going on here, still, nobody's ever got back to me what that is. I've sent multiple emails out to these guys. If it was a simple tool malfunction, they would have already told me. But again, we're also seeing horizontal frequencies. Okay, look at this. Bunches of them. Right? That's not normal either. Okay, to give a little perspective, they take an average of multiple stations, and then they enter that into this model, and this is what it gives us to look at. So that's not just one station saying, hey, it looks like that. It's multiple. So, take that for what it's worth. But if you guys have been hearing ringing in your ears and stuff the past day or so, this might be why. It is kind of spiking, going kind of crazy a little bit. It's not huge. I've seen a lot worse. But you guys remember I was talking about the holes in the signatures? Look at this. Okay, anybody that looks at this on a regular basis is going to know that doesn't normally do that. It's here too. I'm even seeing this. This is really kind of crazy. Look at this. This isn't a hole. That's a sphere. Okay. That was strange to me. Okay, I know it's really faint, but it's actually doing that. So I ain't saying that that's any kind of proof for a planet or anything like that. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying there. I just simply thought that was kind of strange. But we'll move on. Okay, guys, we're going to talk about the CV, and these are going to be the official numbers. Okay, John Hopkins. Again, I think they're junk, and the main reason is, even if they did things right from the beginning, guys, there's lots of people walking around that don't even know they have it today. So, they might catch this, and they may never ever know they had it because they don't get tested. Okay? It's that simple. So, why do we even look at these numbers? Well, I take them, and this is just a data point for me. Right? This is really all we got to look at officially. Keep that in mind, too. We don't have billions of dollars in our back pocket just to have the means to be able to get an accurate count on any of this stuff, which I just explained is impossible to do anyway. So, so we look at these numbers, in my opinion, again, it's a data point, and I take information from everywhere else that I hear and see, and I try to make up, get an educated guess in my own mind for myself. And I would encourage everybody to do that for themselves, right? I'm not going to tell you what to think, what these numbers are. You guys are smart. You guys can figure that out. I mean, you should anyway. You should be listening to a bunch of people, on what's going on with this. Because, again, none of us have all the answers, but all of us have some of the answers So that's kind of what I'm saying. Now, if we look at this, I do think we can kind of get some sort of a mortality rate out of this. If we compare the deaths to the total confirmed cases. But what we will do here, guys, is look at this, okay? The U.S. number officially is at 433. Everything's rising right now, guys. Italy's at 5,883. Iran right behind it. Obviously, South Korea and China are really high. UK, where was UK at? 209. Australia, 76. And guys, those of you guys that live over there, I'm sorry if you feel like I don't talk about those countries enough. I don't do that on purpose. I just simply don't recollect with me a lot that everybody is watching me from around the globe. It's still hard for me to kind of believe that even happens, but I'm honored to be able to do any of this. So, but what I would say also too, those of you guys out there making videos, keep doing it. Okay, no matter if you get called a fearmonger or not. That used to really bother me too, and it took me a while and a lot of advice from people that I trust, like Scott, to be like, hey, man, this is just going to happen. Let it roll right off of you. Don't let it bother you. Because, for me, I'm a pretty sensitive dude, and, wear my heart on my sleeve and all that. I think most people know that, even from watching my channel. So when I do hear stuff like that, it does affect me, but I've learned to not let it affect me as much. So if you guys are making videos and stuff on this, I applaud you, because even if I don't agree with what you're saying, you're still starting a conversation that needs to be had. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say. Now, for those of you guys out there that are calling people fearmongers, I just don't, I just, I don't get it. Because you guys, if you had that strong of a feeling, how about climb your happy booties up out the corner somewhere, put yourself out there and your opinions in a video on your own channel to be criticized? Then I might listen to you. But until you do that, not going to happen. So if you want to call somebody that, do what I just said, and then we'll look at what you are putting out there, and we'll see if it's fear-mongering or if it's just total bunk BS. So that's what I would say to that. Creators, people out there talking about this, keep doing it. That's what I would say. Anyway, guys, and we'll move on. Okay, guys, this is Leandra Sims, and I come across her YouTube channel by watching one of BP Earth Watch's videos. She's a truck driver, right? So she works over here at this docking station, and it's where a lot of the imports and stuff come in, right? So, she's only got like 211 subscribers, and she's out of California, and, let's go over and give her some subscriptions and get her up over 1,000, so if she wants to monetize, she can. Because that's what it takes. So right now, she can't even monetize. So she's just doing this to try to help. And I think it's awesome, okay? She's videotaping what's going on the docks here, and she's not even really supposed to be doing that. She says that. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch, she's got like 5 or 6 videos on this right now. And I'm going to show you guys one of them, and I'm going to walk you through it. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but you'll see here. So anyway, let's just do this.
Okay, y'all, part 5. Here we go. See, I'm bringing in an empty. It's kind of hard to see. There's a can coming out. This is an automatic.
Okay, what she's calling it a can, and what that is just a shipping container. Okay.
Port. So it's kind of hard to see anything, and I have to stand in this stupid booth in order for me to get my load. But there's somebody picking up a can. But normally the cans are...
Okay, she's saying normally the cans are stacked really high. Okay, now what do we mean by high? Well, you see this ladder up here? Okay, this is an automated docking station, right? So it actually goes and it picks up the can itself, brings it over to the truck, and does all that automated. In other words, she's saying they should be stacked up this high, and there's nothing there.
Way up there. Look, there's nothing. There's no loads, nothing. No cans, nowhere. Let me step out of this booth. Look at this. There's...
See that out over the parking lot? Look at that. It's completely empty. Nothing there.
No trucks over here. There's usually hundreds of trucks. There's very few. Look, there's like 3 trucks right there. There's no trucks over there. If you...
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there, guys. You guys go over and finish watching this over on her channel. And do me a favor, give her a subscription and say, hey, Wages World sent me. I've never even talked to her. So, you know, let her know she's got some people out there that's interested in seeing what she's putting out here. I think it's awesome. Because these are the people we need to be listening to. Because they're there. They're out there seeing this stuff happen. And unless we talk about it, we can't make other people aware of what's going on. So if this is happening at the shipping docks, what do you think is going to happen in a week or two, or even closer, to our grocery stores? To our, not, you know, our grocery stores, yes, but not to the extent as like goods, as far as retail stuff. That's really going to get hit hard, I think. So, you know, it's just going to trickle down, guys. It might be a delayed reaction, but that's what's going to happen. At least a little bit. And I think we're starting to see evidence of that. And this is one of it. So, and she, you know, again, she's not afraid to go out here and say this and do this because she thinks it's important enough. Again, she don't even have enough to monetize her channel. But yet she's still going to go out here and do this because she cares enough. And that's where I start getting a little upset when you got people calling this stuff fear-mongering and they're not willing to go out there themselves and make their own videos and put themselves out there. Okay? I mean, then I'll listen to you. If you do that, I'll listen to every word you got to say. I might not agree even after you tell me, but at least I'm going to listen to what you have to say. So, anyway, yeah. So we'll go ahead and move on from that. But just know, guys, that's part of this CV stuff that we're talking about, right? Also, before we move on, New York has declared a state of emergency, okay? So now, as far as I know, from what last I heard, California, Washington State, Florida, now New York. You guys seeing anything there? You guys understanding any kind of pattern what I'm going here? Okay? It's all coastal states. Why is that? Well, probably because of travel. Or, I'm not going to go into the nefarious reasons because that could be going on too. We could be getting funneled into certain areas. They can direct stuff like that, guys, and I'm not going to go into some big spiel about that. A lot of people have a lot of different ideas and opinions on that. But the fact of the matter is, there are now 4 coastal states that have declared states of emergency. So take that for whatever it's worth. Okay, guys, I got you over here at Space Weather. Again, I told you guys we had a sunspot, right? It broke a streak of quite a few days in a row without having any of them Earth-facing. But as we look here, geomagnetic activity, kind of normal. It's not real low, it's not real high, which is good. Low means cosmic ray risks. High means we're getting, you know, usually high solar wind events and stuff like that, you know, or flares or CMEs. And that brings along with it uptick in earthquakes and possibility of brownouts and stuff like that. Okay, but right now looks good. Now, what I will say, look here, solar X-ray flux. Why is that rising? Right? A lot of times we go over here to this, we don't see anything on there. It's almost blank. Well, the reason being is because that sunspot. Okay. Now that also leads me to tell you guys that, you know, it's a good way to explain to you guys the difference between a solar flare and a CME. One of the biggest differences is the speed that they travel. A flare is popping off the sun, and it's basically moving at the speed of light. Okay, so it gets here in just right about 8 minutes. Okay, so in other words, we're not going to get a warning from a flare. It's just not going to happen. There's not enough time there. What could we do anyway? I don't know. Maybe like inactivate a Faraday cage to protect something. Who knows? But A CME can take 4 to 5, I've even seen it take 6 days to get here. So that's one of the biggest differences, right? Now they both can be very, very bad. I'll just say that. Now here is that Sunspot. Okay. It is, I guess they did name it, I think, or they're getting ready to. But that is what's raising that X-ray flux. Okay. Now something else here, guys. Here's the coronal hole. That's the southern coronal hole that's always there. Isn't always that size, but that's where the solar wind comes from, guys, is the opening of these coronal holes. The atmosphere of the sun kind of peels back a little bit, or a lot, and it allows those charged particles to come out. Now, I've also been asked this, how does that stuff travel, right? Well, it's not like typical wind. We call it solar wind, but it's not like blowing wind. Okay, you got lines of magnetism. Let's just do this really crude like here real quick. There's the Earth, and obviously that's the sun. Well, we're connected to the sun magnetically, right? These lines, interplanetary magnetic field lines. Well, the charged particles travel down those lines. They spiral down. That's how they travel. Okay? So when they're moving fast, that's what they're doing. Now, we could go into a more dense particle versus this particle and all that kind of a thing. And they can be wider, they can be closer to the middle of these lines. Doesn't matter. Only if we're going to get technical about it, yes. But at the end of the day, for most of us, it's good enough just to say it's solar wind moving at, this amount of kilometers per second. If it's moving slow, not much. Unless it's real dense, then we'll get hit. If it's moving fast, we see increase in auroras, all that kind of a thing. So a slow system isn't going to cause that big of an aurora event. Not usually, anyway. So we'll just leave it at that. Now this right here I want to show you too, guys. You see this blue? Usually there's a red line with it. Well, the blue line is representing GOES 15 satellite. That is the conditions at GOES 15. Which is orbiting the Earth all the time. Usually we got GOES 14 there too. Okay? It's red line. It shows in red. Well, it's not there. That means we're not getting any data from it. Now, there were talk about them shutting that one off anyway, for good. Put it into storage, which is what they call it. But there was also talk that might not ever happen, because it was supposed to happen about a month ago. I'm just wondering if that's what's going on now. Because now we're only getting one reading from one satellite. Just thought you guys want to know that. Guys, we got you over at Teesprings. This is Scott's Teespring, Planet X News. And he's designed a shirt with my logo on it. And we did this, trying to help him and Dr. Albers out. And thank you guys all that helped. It's great. It's awesome. And obviously, I wouldn't still be doing this if he didn't, still need the help. And so if you guys would consider going over here and buying one of these shirts that he's got, over here, just, whether it's my logo or his design or whatever, it doesn't matter to me. Send it to me and I'll make up a video and, send me a picture of you guys wearing it. I think that'd be pretty cool. Be pretty awesome, actually. And we'll put together a video on that and let you guys see all that. So, if you guys would consider that, you'd be helping Scott and Dr. Albers out. It'd be great. So, anyway, God bless. Yeshua saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.